Okay, let's continue. As you can see here, we have other 3D objects. In this case, we have a bat. Also, we have a dolphin with the animation, as you can see previously, and a horse. Okay, very cool. The next thing we need to do is create the animation of the lines, as you can see here. Okay, let's start. Okay, as you can see here, we have the horse with the animation. Okay, the next step is create a guide to the animation. In this case, we will use a spline. Go to the front view, and we started to draw. Click. Okay. The next step is soften the edge. To do this, select all the spline. Right click and select round. Now just drag the mouse, as you can see in the video, and we can increase the number of points. Okay. Also, we can change the position of the points. As you can appreciate in the video. Okay, now go to the mode, the pivot, and change the position of the pivot just here. Okay, now increase the size of the spline in this way. Okay, also we can rotate just a little bit. If you need more complex spline, we can use the object bend, twist, drag inside the spline, increase the size as you can see, and change the rotation with this point. Now, right click in the spline and select current state. Now select the object, horse, and the joints. And create group objects. Now we can change the rotation and position of the horse. And change the position at the beginning of the spline, as you can see here. Okay. The next step is create the lines of the horse. Select the 3D object in the point mode and select some points, as you can see in the video. Okay, we finish. Okay, now go to the simulation menu and select hair object and select add hair. Okay, as you can see here, we have the menu of the hair. This is the size of the hair. We will increase just a little bit. Okay. Note, remember not exceed the size for a good animation. Okay. For example, this is too much for the animation. This size is okay. Now we are going to change the position of the air. Change the view. Now go to the simulation menu and air tools, and we choose brush. The only thing we need to do is drag all airs, as you can see here. We can choose the position. In this case, it's behind. Okay. Now increase just a little bit. Okay. Perfect. Let's make a test. As you can see here, we have a disorderly animation. Now we will fix this. The first step is select the hair, go to Dynamics, and increase the values as you can see in the video. Okay. As you can see here, we have 100 in the values, as you can appreciate. Only we have a 0 in the hold and mix. And for the surface radius, we choose 50. This is very important value. With this tab, we can control the animation of the air. Okay? These values are optimized for best animation. Please don't change these values. We can only play with this value. Increase or decrease. Now we increase the gravity. Go to the force menu and increase the gravity maybe 18. Okay. Now go to the airs. May first go to the guides. Let's make a test and increase the segmentation of the lines. Okay, looks pretty cool. Next, go to the air. Now we at the polygons. Change the root to polygon vertex. Okay. And next go to the generate and change the type to polygon. You can choose different shape, as you can see here, square, triangle. In this case we will use flat. Okay, we finished with the values of the air. The next step is change the shape of the lines. Like the thickness. For this, we select the material of the air. Double click in the material and select the thickness, as you can see here, and increase the size. Okay, now go to the basic and check color and specular, and we choose wave, and we can change the values as you can see here. Let's make a test. Okay, looks nice. Sometimes the air of lines change the position for any reasons. Maybe the animation, the speed, or frames, as you can see here. To fix this, select the air tag, go to the editing and press the button reroute. Okay, now is the time for the animation. First, we add a bent object, in this case a spline wrap. This is a MoGraph object. The next is create a null object. Okay. Change the name of the group, course guide. Okay. Animation. Okay. Now drag inside the group animation the guide and the horse. Select the guide or spline, wrap, and drag in the spline our spline. Okay. To fix this, go to the spline wrap and change the mode to keep length. Okay. Now increase the animation offset. Okay. And change the position of the horse. As you can see, it's behind. Change the axis as you can see here. Okay. Now select the guide and rotate. To fix the position. Okay. Looks perfect. Also, if you need to start here, only change the offset animation in the beginning and change the rotation again of the spline wrap. Now we are going to do is create animation in these 2 points. Select the spline, select the 0 position of the timeline, hold the Control keyboard and press this circle as you can see here. We create a keyframe. Now go to the frame (200) and increase the position to 0 and create another keyframe. Also, we can create a keyframe, right click, animation, add keyframe. Okay, let's make a test. Okay, looks pretty nice. We can increase the animation. Select the keyframe and drag to 300. Let's make another test. Okay, looks pretty cool. The next thing we need to do is to fix the animation of the lines, as you can see here. This has no guide, as you can appreciate. Only the horse has a guide. To fix this, we are going to create a pipeline. duplicate the spline and select another spline, the circle. Select the sweep nerves and drag the true spline inside the sweep nerves. As you can see here, we have a pipeline. Next, reduce the size of the circle. Okay, this size is okay. Next, we will make it editable and delete the caps. Okay, next select the sweep nerves or pipeline. Right click and select the tag, hair tags, hair collider. Reduce the values to 0. And hide the polygon pipeline. Let's make a test. As you can see here, nothing happens. Let me explain. As you can see here, we have a cube object. This is the polygon mode. If you select some polygons, you can see the color orange. This is the face of the polygon. Okay? Now delete some polygons and select the polygon inside. As you can see, the polygons inside have the color blue. This is the inner face. Most of the plugins and materials they react on this face. And not with the inner face. And the tag collider only reacts with the outer face. Now we need to do is change the position of the face. Go to the polygon mode, select all polygons and select the menu function and select reverse normals. As you can see, we have the inside polygon, the color blue. Now let's make a test. As you can see here, we increase the surface radius to 82. As you can appreciate in this preview, the animation is correct. These values depend with the size of the spline, the size of the air, and the thickness of the pipeline, as you can see here. The last step is add the material. In this case we have this material. Also we include in the project files in this tutorial. Just drag to the horse animation and the hair. Hide the joints. Let's make a test. Looks pretty nice. Okay. Also we can increase just a little bit the thickness of the material. Okay. Also we add a hypernerves here for soften the edge. Okay, as you can see here, we have a problem. This is the true material of the air. We can fix at transparency, as you can see here, and select the color white. Okay, now let's make the last test. Before finishing, don't forget to add the object glow just here and change the anti-aliasing to best. Also, if you wish, we can reduce the size of every hair or every lines. Just select the hair tools, cut. As you can see here, we finished the animation. The animation is very smooth. More keyframes represent a soft animation, and we help the lines of the hair. Okay, let's continue. In this part, we're going to show you how to make this cool effect. The smoke. In this case, we use the plugin turbulence. You can find the plugin in the website jobset.com, as you can see here. The plugin called Turbulence FD. Also, you can try the plugin for free. We recommend you this plugin because we will use this plugin in the next tutorials. Okay, let's continue. The first thing we need to do is go to the menu Plugins and choose the menu of Turbulence. Just drag this line, as you can see here, and drag again just here. Okay. As you can see here, we have many properties. The first is the container. The container is very important to make the effect. As you can see here, we have different effects like burn, fuel, density, temperature, turbulence, and more. Also, we have the render of smoke and fire. This is the two very important render settings. And we have the tag. Right click and choose turbulence emitter. The first step is increase the size of the container. To do this, only we use the values on the properties. Don't use the scale. Because we increase all values. Like the voxel size. Okay. The next step is create a channel. A channel is the reflection of the effect. In this case, we can use temperature, density, fuel, burn, and more. Click in the tag and you can see 4 emitters like temperature, density, fuel, burn, like the container. In this case, increase the temperature. Reduce the size of the sphere and create animation. Okay. Now open the second tab, Simulation window. In this simulation window, we have two render settings. One is the CPU and the second is the GPU. In this case, we will use the CPU, a Core i7. Now press the button. Okay. As you can see here, we created the particles of the fire. But as you can appreciate, the render is very slow. This is because Turbulence use a CUDA cores. In this case, we use the GPU. Let's make another test. Very good. As you can see, the GPU is more faster. Also, you can see the example in the website of Turbulence, as you can see here, the CPU and the GPU. Okay, let's continue. In summary, to big projects, we recommend you to use the GPU graphic cards. You can find the CUDA cores only in the NVIDIA graphic cards. More CUDA cores means more speed for the render. Note, in this case we have two graphic cards, but Turbulence only use one graphic card. As you can see here, we need to create a smoke, no fire or fuel. To do this, first select the turbulence container. Go to the simulation. The first step is increase the limit, maybe 2. Next, increase the timing. We can add here also we can add the time here. Now increase or add turbulence. Okay, now for the smoke effect, we use the density. The density is different to the smoke shader. The difference is the smoke shader disappears with the timeline. And the density disappears with the tap dissipation. In other words, in the density we can control, or we have more control in the effect. Okay, now decrease the gravity in all direction to 0 and decrease the life of the smoke to 15 frames and reduce the clip to 0. Now we add animation to the sphere. Let's make another test. Okay, the animation is taking shape. Now go to the preview and change the channel to density. Okay, now go to the tag of turbulence and increase the density to 0.5. And the same value in the temperature. Let's make a test. Okay. Okay, Now we need to create the blue smoke. The first step is to check in the container the temperature. Only we need the density. Next, go to the rendering and change the fire shader, the channel to density. Okay. Now you can see here the color of the fire. Just click here, edit. Now we can change the color of the fire. In this case we change a blue color. The next step is change the color of the smoke, or in this case the density. Only we need the density and check the temperature. Go to rendering and in the channel we choose density. Click on the button edit and change the color to blue. Now change the channel to density. Increase the opacity and change the intensity. Okay, as you can see we have the white color. To fix to this color we choose the mapping. Double click. As you can see we have the color white. Just put this point here. Also we can add more curves. This is a color correction, something like this. Okay, as you can see, looks better. Now let's make another test. Okay, looks pretty nice. Sometimes some effects looks different, as you can see in videos or tutorials. In this case, this effect look very small. This is because the container is small. Only increase the size of the container. Let's make another test. Okay, as you can see, it's the same effect, but in this opportunity we increase the voxel size. As you can see here, the animation looks smooth. Finally, as you can see here, we have the perfect settings. Remember, every effect and every scene have different effects and different values. If you change the values, as you can see here, we can turn slow the animation, as you can see here. This value works perfectly for this scene. Finally, as you can see here, we add the turbulence effect and the tag of the emitters to our scene of the horse. And we can do both renders, as you can see here. Let's make a test. Finally, let's make another test. As you can see here, we have all effects: the line hair and the blue smoke effect. Last advice: if you don't want this blue smoke disappear, only increase the dissipation size. For example, 20. Okay, this is the render and this is the new render. As you can see here, the smoke disappears more quickly. But for larger smoke, only put the 0 value. Okay. Perfect. Okay, in the last part in After Effects, we export the animation of the effects. As you can see here, we have an alpha animation. To change the color, only we use the color correction, the hue saturation. Also, we can increase the saturation, as you can see here. And we can change the mode to add. Okay, with this we finish this tutorial. My name is Onicron from cinema4dtutorial.net, and see you next time.